Imagine you have billions of dollars to spend on anything you want. You can buy luxury yachts, private jets, mansions, artworks, and even Hollywood movies. You can party with celebrities, models, and politicians. You can live the ultimate high life. Now imagine you got all that money by stealing it from an entire country. A country that is struggling with poverty, corruption, and debt. A country that trusted you to manage its wealth and development. This is not a fantasy. This is the reality of Jho Low, the man who robbed an entire country. Welcome to Clever Crooks, the channel where we explore the stories of the most brilliant and notorious criminals in the world. In today's episode, we are going to tell you the shocking story of Jho Low, the mastermind behind one of the biggest financial scandals in history. We will reveal how he siphoned off billions of dollars from Malaysia's sovereign wealth fund, 1MDB, and used it to fund his extravagant lifestyle and influence around the world. We will also reveal how he evaded justice for years, and what happened to him and his ill-gotten gains. This is a story of greed, deception, and power that will make your jaw drop. So sit back and get ready for a mind-blowing ride. Jho Low was born in Penang, Malaysia in 1981. He came from a wealthy family that owned a garment business. He was a bright and ambitious student who excelled in math and science. He attended prestigious schools in Malaysia and abroad, including Harrow School in London and Wharton School of Business in Pennsylvania. He was also a social butterfly who loved to network and make friends with influential people. He joined various clubs and societies, and attended elite events and parties. He befriended royalty, celebrities, businessmen, and politicians from different countries. He was charming, charismatic, and generous. He always had a smile on his face and a gift in his hand. He had a vision of becoming a global player in the world of finance and investment. He wanted to create his own empire that would span across continents and industries. He wanted to be rich, powerful, and famous. He saw an opportunity to achieve his dream when he met Najib Razak, the Prime Minister of Malaysia at the time. Najib was looking for someone who could help him set up a new sovereign wealth fund that would boost Malaysia's economy and development. Jho Low offered his services as a financial advisor and intermediary. He impressed Najib with his connections, credentials, and ideas. He convinced Najib to entrust him with the management of the new fund, which was named One Malaysia Development Berhad, or 1MDB for short. Jho Low had just gained access to one of the largest pools of money in the world. Jho Low wasted no time in exploiting his position as the unofficial boss of 1MDB. He used his influence and authority to orchestrate a series of complex transactions that involved borrowing billions of dollars from banks and investors, transferring them to offshore accounts and shell companies, and then diverting them to his own personal accounts or those of his associates. He used various schemes and tricks to cover his tracks and avoid detection. He used fake documents, forged signatures, falsified accounts, and bribed officials. He also used intermediaries and proxies to act on his behalf or take the blame if things went wrong. He hired lawyers, bankers, accountants, consultants, and lobbyists to facilitate his deals and protect his interests. He also used some of the stolen money to buy influence and goodwill from various parties around the world. He donated millions of dollars to charities, foundations, political campaigns, and media outlets. He sponsored events, projects, initiatives, and causes that aligned with his agenda or benefited his allies. He also cultivated relationships with powerful figures such as former US President Barack Obama I, Saudi Prince Al-Walid bin Talal II, Chinese President Xi Jinping III, UAE Crown Prince Mohammed bin Zayed IV, Hollywood producer Reza Aziz V, rapper Kanye West VI, model Miranda Kerr VII, actor Leonardo DiCaprio VIII, and many more. He also used some of the stolen money to fund his lavish lifestyle and extravagant hobbies. He bought luxury properties, artworks, jewelry, and other assets worth hundreds of millions of dollars. He also bought a custom-made yacht called the Equanimity, which cost over $250 million and featured a helipad, a spa, a cinema, a gym, and a pool. He also bought a private jet, which he used to travel around the world and attend exclusive events and parties. He also financed movies such as The Wolf of Wall Street, Dumb and Dumber 2, and Daddy's Home, which starred some of his celebrity friends. He lived like a king, spending millions of dollars on champagne, caviar, gambling, and women. He threw lavish parties at the most expensive hotels and clubs, where he invited his famous guests and showered them with gifts and favors. He was the life of the party, always smiling and dancing. He was the ultimate high roller, who could afford anything he wanted. He was Jho Low, the man who robbed an entire country. Before we go deeper to the downfall of Jho Low, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel, especially if you would love to see and hear the stories of the clever crooks that stunned the world. Jho Low's reign of terror lasted for about 6 years, from 2009 to 2015. During that time, he stole an estimated $4.5 billion from 1MDB, leaving the fund with a debt of over $13 billion. He also caused immense damage to Malaysia's economy, reputation, and stability. He deprived millions of Malaysians of their rightful share of their country's wealth and development. He corrupted the political system and undermined the rule of law. He betrayed the trust and confidence of his people and his leader. However, his crimes did not go unnoticed or unpunished. His schemes were eventually exposed by various sources, including whistleblowers, journalists, activists, and investigators. His transactions were traced and tracked by authorities from different countries, including the US, Switzerland, Singapore, Hong Kong, and Malaysia. His assets were frozen and seized by courts and agencies. His associates were arrested and charged with various offenses. His reputation was tarnished and destroyed by media and public opinion. He himself became a wanted man by multiple governments and organizations. He faced criminal charges in several jurisdictions for fraud, money laundering, bribery, and other crimes. He faced civil lawsuits from various parties for damages and restitution. He faced extradition requests from different countries for trial and sentencing. He tried to escape justice by fleeing from one country to another, using fake passports and identities. He tried to evade capture by hiding in remote locations or seeking protection from friendly regimes. He tried to defend himself by hiring lawyers and publicists to fight his cases or spin his stories. He tried to justify himself by denying any wrongdoing or claiming any innocence. But none of his efforts worked. He was cornered and isolated by the international community. He was hunted and pursued by the law enforcement agencies. He was exposed and condemned by the public opinion. He was Jho Low, the man who robbed an entire country. Jho Low's story is one of the most astonishing and outrageous cases of financial fraud and corruption in history. He managed to steal billions of dollars from a sovereign wealth fund that was supposed to benefit the people of Malaysia. He used the money to live a lavish lifestyle and buy influence and power around the world. He also caused immense harm and damage to Malaysia's economy, reputation, and stability. However, he also faced the consequences of his actions. He was exposed by various sources and investigated by multiple authorities. He was charged with multiple crimes and sued by various parties. He was hunted and pursued by law enforcement agencies and isolated by the international community. He lost his assets, his allies, and his freedom. His story is a cautionary tale of what can happen when greed, deception, and power go unchecked and unchallenged. It is also a reminder of the importance of transparency, accountability, and justice in the management of public funds and resources. It is also a testament to the courage and persistence of those who fought to expose and stop his crimes. This is the end of our story about Jho Low, the man who robbed an entire country. We hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get notified when we upload new videos. We have more amazing stories of clever crooks coming up, so always stay up to date. Also comment your thoughts if you know a story that fits the clever crook profile. We would love for you to definitely share it with us. Until next time, this is Clever Crooks, signing off.